300 millimetres of rain in 72 hours. That is not a drill. And if you live anywhere between Cairns and Townsville, the next 72 hours could rewrite your weekend plans completely. Right now, a tropical low is churning off the far North Queensland coast, and it is gathering strength as we speak. But here is what almost nobody is talking about. This is not just about the north. A separate storm system is building across southwestern Queensland that could unleash supercell thunderstorms by tomorrow afternoon. And for southeast Queensland, after weeks of bone-dry conditions, a surface low-pressure system next week might finally break the drought, or it might bypass you completely. Where you live will determine everything. So drop a comment right now with your town or suburb, and I will give you a personalised forecast for your exact location. Let me be crystal clear about what is coming. By tomorrow morning, locations between Mackay and Cooktown could see rainfall rates of 20 to 60 millimetres. But in a few spots, particularly around the Daintree rainforest and the Cassowary coast, we are looking at 125 millimetres, maybe more if convergence zones develop. Here is the number that should get your attention. Between now and Monday morning, a stretch of far north Queensland could record 250 to 350 millimetres. Some isolated areas might push close to 500 millimetres. Now, you might be thinking, this is far north Queensland. They get big rain all the time. And you would be right. But here is the critical detail most forecasts are missing. Anything below 300 millimetres up there, business as usual. Anything above 300 millimetres in the middle to back end of wet season, when river catchments are already saturated, that is when we start talking flash flooding. That is when we start talking riverine flooding. And the Herbert River is the one I am watching most closely. We have already seen minor flooding in recent days. If the Atherton tablelands get hammered on Sunday into Monday, we could be looking at minor, potentially moderate flooding in the Herbert River system. But let me tell you exactly when this hits your area, because timing is everything. For Townsville, showers pick up late this afternoon into this evening. Your heaviest rain arrives tonight through early tomorrow morning. By Friday, that easterly flow shifts more southeasterly, which actually means less rain for you compared to today. Cairns, your turn comes tomorrow. Showers build through Friday afternoon and Friday evening, but the big event for you is Saturday and Sunday. Both days will be wet, potentially very wet. For the Cassowary coast and Daintree rainforest, you are in the bullseye. Today could bring locally heavy falls if that convergence zone develops. Tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening, rainfall intensifies further. Then Saturday and Sunday, you are looking at the heaviest rainfall of this entire event. Mackay and the Whitsundays, you have already had moderate falls overnight. The good news is your rainfall eases throughout today as that activity shifts north. Now, here is the part you need to hear at the 5-minute mark, and I am delivering on that promise right now. For those of you in southeast Queensland, particularly Brisbane, the Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast, I know you have been watching the north get all this rain while your grass turns brown and crunchy. Your water restrictions tighten. Your gardens suffer. A significant change is coming your way, but it is not today, it is not tomorrow, and that is why you need to stay with me through this forecast. Let me take you through what is happening in southwestern Queensland first, because this is developing faster than many people realise. This afternoon, thunderstorms are already firing south of Windora and Charleville, through Cunnamulla, Thargomindah, Quilpie, all the way inland to Inaminka and Birdsville over in South Australia. These are pulse thunderstorms, sporadic. Some places will get hit, most will miss out completely. But tomorrow, Friday, that is when things get serious. We are looking at instability values climbing into the 2000s, in one or two spots approaching 3000. That is exceptional instability even for southwestern Queensland. Dew points are going to be through the roof, 23 degrees. Pushing 24, even approaching 25 degrees by afternoon. It is going to feel incredibly sticky out there. Wind shear values are sitting between 15 to 25 knots. Could be better, could be worse. But when you combine that with the extreme instability, big-time pulse thunderstorms are pretty much guaranteed through southwestern Queensland. Isolated supercells are possible into northwestern New South Wales. Here is your timing for that region. Thursday afternoon through evening, scattered storms. Friday afternoon into evening, that is peak severe weather potential. Thargomindah, Quilpie, Birdsville, you are in the zone. Now let me get to what everyone in southeast Queensland really wants to know. When is our rain coming? A robust trough line is forecast to develop just inland from the Darling Ranges next week. That will pull moisture in from the Coral Sea. As high pressure establishes itself offshore from the southeast Queensland coast, dew points rise. Instability builds. Warm air pushes in from the west. Wednesday next week, we could see showers and thunderstorms develop. Thursday looks like the big day, particularly for northern New South Wales as a southeasterly change rips across. Friday could be very interesting across southeast Queensland as a surface low pressure system moves offshore. But here is the reality check, and I am going to be completely honest with you. We are in the middle part of storm season now. We do not have those strong jet stream winds we see in November and December, those upper level wind shear numbers of 30, 40, 50 knots that give us high-end severe thunderstorms. That is not present right now. What does that mean for you? If thunderstorms develop on Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, they will most likely be pulse thunderstorms, heavy rainfall, locally damaging wind gusts, maybe some small hail, but I'm not expecting anything high-end. You can write off giant hailstones, you can write off destructive wind gusts. What you might get is locally intense rainfall. And frankly, that would be very welcome. It is brown and crunchy through southeast Queensland right now. The landscape is desperate for moisture. Then we get to the weekend, Saturday, Sunday and Monday. That surface low pressure system offshore could bring steady showers, even decent rainfall activity through the southeast. This is now supported by multiple forecast models, which gives me more confidence. A surface low like this can bring anywhere from 50 to 300 millimetres over a few days. The Springbrook area, Gold Coast hinterland, northeastern New South Wales, particularly if that surface low sits close to the coastline, you could see very decent accumulations. But here is where I need to manage expectations. Most forecast model guidance right now is not particularly favourable to southeast Queensland on rainfall totals. The numbers are okay, they will be welcome, but we are looking at 50 to 100 millimetres for most locations. A couple of spots might get 200 to 300 millimetres. That is not enough to break us out of the borderline drought conditions we are seeing. And not all major models are on board yet. The Access model is showing it, which is good, but it is not showing much rainfall, which is not good. I want to see more consistency between models before I tell you exactly how much rain to expect in your suburb. For now, just know that half-decent rainfall accumulations are on the cards. It looks quite likely because we have had consistency on models for the last couple of days. Long story short, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week, chance of thunderstorms. Saturday, Sunday, Monday through to the 16th of February, we could be talking moderate to half-decent rainfall. Up to 100, maybe 200 millimetres in isolated spots. For Brisbane specifically, expect nothing. Whatever falls is a bonus. That is the attitude I'm taking. But there is wet weather on the horizon, and it will be very welcome. Let me show you just how dry it has gotten. Drought monitoring maps right now show indexes through southeast Queensland climbing into mild, even moderate drought territory. This is concerning for this time of year. In a La Nina year, we should be seeing above average soil moisture values. We should see no drought conditions whatsoever, but we are not, and that is a problem. Now, before I get to Western Australia and that developing tropical cyclone, let me address the Coral Sea situation because I know some of you have seen concerning forecasts floating around social media. There is no immediate tropical cyclone threat to southeast Queensland. There is no imminent threat to the remainder of the Queensland coast or mainland Australia for the next couple of days. One model, the GFS, has been consistently showing a potential system near Vanuatu or New Caledonia. It is the only model showing this. And it has that system recurving away from Australia, which is exactly what I expected because it initialized too far away from our coast. When the GFS is super consistent like this, we cannot completely ignore it. But I am not making tropical cyclone predictions based on one model. Anyone doing that is cherry-picking data. Do not be worried. Do not be scared. Just stay informed over the next couple of days. Now, let me take you west because this is where we have an active developing situation right now. Tropical low 21U is currently offshore from the Kimberley coastline and it is doing better than I expected this morning. Some really good convection is firing up offshore. Some half-decent convection is developing south of the centre. This system has a somewhat bright future ahead of it, particularly for a system hugging the coastline. Multi-model guidance is taking this system offshore from the Broome area, then hugging the coastline and bringing it back in around Exmouth by late this weekend into early next week. Some deeper models, which I find more accurate in situations like this, have it really hugging the coastline, coming in around Port Hedland, then down towards the Karratha area west of Newman. If it takes that offshore track, it could reach Category 2, potentially Category 3 status. For the WA coast, that is not catastrophic. A Category 3 cyclone will cause some damage here and there, but it is not extreme. Category 1 or 2 would be minimal impact. The deeper models are suggesting Category 1 at an absolute maximum right now. Here is the challenge for this storm. It has relatively favourable conditions if it can get offshore from the WA coastline. It will have a couple of days to intensify, but it is going to be too close to the coastline. Tropical cyclones need warm ocean waters and a large expanse to develop their convection, organise their thunderstorms and mature. This system, being so close to land, will struggle because it will be pulling moisture from the land. And if you know the Pilbara region, that moisture does not exist out in the desert. But hugging the coastline means impacts throughout the duration of this storm's lifespan. For the Kimberley region, minimal rainfall over the next couple of days, but a few spots will pick up north of 150, 200, even 300 millimetres. Broome may see 100 millimetres by the time this week is out. As the system hugs the coastline, plenty of showers and thunderstorms across the Pilbara coast. Rainfall will be confined to coastal areas, but between 60 and 150 millimetres is possible for Port Hedland, Karratha, Dampier, Barrow Island, Onslow, and down towards Exmouth. Slightly lighter rainfall expected around Exmouth, even though the cyclone will have more time to intensify. This is traditionally a drier area. Dry air and interaction with the coast will likely weaken the system by the time it reaches Exmouth. Periods of gale force winds are also anticipated across the Pilbara coastline. This does not look like a major threat, but I will monitor it closely. Here is what you need to do right now. If you live anywhere in far north Queensland, southwestern Queensland, southeast Queensland, or the Western Australian coast, drop a comment with your location. Tell me your town, tell me your suburb. I will give you a specific forecast for your area. Because here is what is coming over the next 10 days. Multiple weather systems, multiple rainfall events, multiple severe weather risks. And where you live determines everything about how this affects you. Townsville, your heaviest rain is tonight into tomorrow morning. Cairns, your big event is Saturday and Sunday. Brisbane, your chance comes Wednesday through Monday next week. Port Hedland, you are in the firing line this weekend. But the single most important thing you can do right now is comment your location. That way I can track exactly what is heading your way and give you updates specific to your suburb. The next 72 hours will be critical for far north Queensland. The next 7 days will be critical for southeast Queensland. And the next 5 days will be critical for Western Australia. This is not the time to guess. This is not the time to rely on generic forecasts that cover half the state. You need specific localised information for your exact area. So comment below right now, tell me where you are, and make sure you are following for updates because this situation is evolving rapidly. Tomorrow, I will have a detailed update on that Western Australian system once it gets offshore and we can see clearly what it is doing. For southeast Queensland, I will be tracking that surface low development closely next week. And for far north Queensland, if you are in the Cassowary Coast, Daintree, Atherton Tablelands, or anywhere in the Herbert River catchment, you need to be paying very close attention over the next 72 hours. 250 to 350 millimetres in 3 days. Some spots, potentially 500 millimetres. That is not a forecast to take lightly when catchments are already saturated. Comment your location now, stay informed, and I will see you in the next update with the latest information as these